What's going on, guys? It's Andrew Pillock Sports here, and I'm back with another video. Today's going to be a fun video. It's going to be controversial. It's going to be crazy. Where is Steven Stamkos going to sign on July 1st or just in the free agency period? There hasn't been a name like Steven Stamkos on the open market free agency in forever. Like, I can't even remember the last time there was a huge name like that in free agency. Like Parise and Sutter maybe, but come on, Steven Stamkos. This has been an ongoing topic that's been talked about since the playoffs. I honestly have no idea where he's going to go. So today in this video, we're going to look at the pros and cons of the teams that he may be looking at. So first off, if you're not too familiar with Steven Stamkos, which I don't know how you couldn't be, maybe if you're not a hockey fan or you don't watch a lot of hockey, you know a bit about Stamkos, whatever, let me just tell you a little bit about him. He's an elite centerman, winger, wherever you want to play him. He likes playing center. But he's scored 60 goals in a season before. Yeah, he definitely knows how to put the puck in the net. Any team that gets Steven Stamkos is immediately better. So teams are definitely going to be knocking on the door of his agent. He's a pretty humble player, definitely talented, and he's about to be a very rich man. I mean, he already was, but still he's going to get a lot of money. So I thought it'd be cool if we just went through the list of teams that I think he might be going to and teams that may be rumored. Starting from maybe the teams that are not so much in the mix, but they're still there. First off, the Boston Bruins. Now, the Boston Bruins, I haven't really heard a ton about him going there, but the name has been thrown around a little bit. Now, I wouldn't blame him if he wanted to go play in Boston. Again, they are a storied franchise, good fan base there. Great arena, it's always rocking. They got a good team. Tuukka Rask, Zdeno Chara, Marchand, Bergeron. Like, come on, how could you not maybe consider going there? The only other thing I can think of is, while Boston is still a good team, I don't exactly know if they're going in the right direction. I mean, I can't really say they're not going in the right direction. It just might not be the direction Stamkos wants to go at. Even with Steven Stamkos, I'm not 100% sure that Boston is like a guaranteed Stanley Cup final team. Because you also have to look at it this way. Is Stamkos looking for a cup team right now? Is he looking for the money? Does he want to win? Blah, blah, blah. Obviously he wants to win, but still. Does he want to win, like, over anything? I mean, he could be looking for money over everything, but again, that's off topic. So Boston's kind of a weird team for me because I don't know exactly if he'll go there. That one kind of confuses me, and I'm not too sure why that one's been rumored so much. Next up, the Montreal Canadiens. Now, this one would be absolutely disgusting if he went there. I'm a Leafs fan, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't be too upset if he went to Montreal, and I don't know why I just said that, but it's actually kind of true. I don't necessarily hate Montreal. I hate them because of the rivalry, but again, a storied franchise, crazy, crazy fan base, rockin' arena, and he would have a chance to play with Carey Price, PK Subban, Max Pacioretty, Brendan Gallagher, Alex Galchenyuk. The list goes on and on. That team would be nasty. I'm not exactly sure if they really have the cap room, and you also have to take this into consideration. While it might be kind of too far out thinking, he did grow up a Leafs fan. He grew up around Toronto. Maybe he's also not too much of a fan of Montreal, and he might feel some kind of guilt if he went and signed there. As silly as that sounds, you really never know. Like, look at Josh Georges. He didn't want to waive his no-movement clause to come to Toronto. It's about the rivalry. So Montreal is kind of a dark horse team for me, though some people think that they're in it more than other teams, surprisingly. Next up, the New York Rangers. And people have these guys higher than the Leafs, but I'll let you know why I think that they might be not as suitable for him just yet, and unfortunately they can't really wait. First off, again, he'd be going to a pretty talented team. They've got King Hendrick in net, so that's obviously one reason why he'd want to go there. They've got a pretty talented squad there. Again, a big fan base, a good arena, and I know I keep saying good arena and good fan base, but seriously, these teams legitimately have a good fan base and good arena. Also, it's a big hockey market, New York. You don't get much better than that. Except for, a team that, okay, shut up, I'm going to shut up. I'm not talking about the Leafs yet. Anyways, I think they'd have to move some contracts like Derek Stepan and Rick Nash to be able to even think about acquiring Stamkos. But I don't know. Some GMs have a way of making money out of nothing, so you never know how that's going to work. Stamkos could very well want to go there because of the market, like I mentioned, the good squad. But again, there's some things there that just doesn't make sense to me, like the money. And New York's good, but if you add Stamkos, that team isn't automatically again like a cup favorite. Yeah, they could be, but I can't see it. The next team I'm going to talk about is the Detroit Red Wings. Now, people might get on my back about this because people might think Detroit's the front runner, but I honestly think it's almost like a three-way tie for first of who I think might land Stamkos. And let me tell you why I think Detroit's got a really, really, really insanely good shot at landing Stamkos. First of all, I think all Leaf fans were pretty disappointed when they were watching the draft and heard that the Coyotes actually acquired the contract of Pavel Datsyuk, because you're immediately thinking, oh my god, they're going after Stamkos. They have the money. I didn't think they were going to get out of this. How does Detroit always do this? And I mean, that was how I felt too, but again, they're a team that I wouldn't really mind if Stamkos went to be honest with you. They have a good team, maybe not the best team, but Detroit's kind of close to home, it's not too far from Toronto. And another storied franchise, good fan base, good building. That's just how it works. He's going to go to a pretty good market, and Detroit's got a good team. Again, though, I don't know if they're right in the mix. I don't know if you add Stamkos and go, they're cup favorites. I'd like to think if Datsyuk was still there and they had the money, then maybe I'm thinking they're cup favorites. But they've got a couple players that might be on their way out soon and on the decline. I know they have a couple good young players like Larkin, but that doesn't exactly mean they're going in the right direction. They might be able to fork him over a lot of money, and from what I've heard, Detroit is desperate to get Stamkos. So that could be something that Stamkos goes, okay, man, they really want me here. I would expect them to be one of the highest bidders. And oh my god, I can't believe I almost forgot this, the Buffalo Sabres. That's just how much I dislike them. The Buffalo Sabres actually might be in the conversation as like instead of the three-way tie that I thought, it could be a four-way tie. Again, Buffalo is a desperate team. And I can't say I really like their building because I don't. I'm sorry, Buffalo. I would not be surprised if Buffalo's the highest bidder because they have said they're going to go after him with like $12 million a season, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's a lot of money, but, you know, when somebody else is offering you 8.5, shout out to you, Tampa, that looks like a pretty nice amount of money. Buffalo's got a good team, again, sort of close to home, not exactly, but kind of close to home. It's a decent hockey market, and their team is pretty decent. They've had some pretty good additions lately, but goaltending is a bit of a weakness. Their defense is still a little bit of a weakness. But Jack Eichel, Ryan O'Reilly, I can't even say Evander Kane because that could be a factor of why he doesn't go to Buffalo. Evander Kane is a troubled player right now, and you can't say he isn't because he definitely is. There's something that maybe isn't right with him right now. He's getting in a lot of trouble. So Stamkos, I don't think that he is going to go to Buffalo, and a lot of people have them as front runners, but if it's about the money, yeah, maybe. But people are saying, oh, Buffalo's way ahead of Toronto and way ahead of Detroit and all these teams. Like, no. Buffalo is still in a rebuild, and I don't see their team as being even a contender with Stamkos. Stamkos doesn't make the entire team. In a sense, he kind of makes the team better, but he doesn't. You can't win with one person. So Buffalo's going to be interesting, and I'm not ruling them out for sure, but I just can't see it. Again, another rivalry thing with Stamkos. He just might not want to go there. Now, here comes two teams that I think have the best shot of grabbing Stamkos. The Tampa Bay Lightning and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Of course, you can really see why I'd say Tampa Bay because they still are talking to him. They still own the rights to him. But there's a couple options that can go down here. First, you could have them actually just re-sign him to the 8 years because they're the only team that can give him 8 years. You give him the nice contract, but the last time they offered it was 8.5, and Elliot Friedman said there might have been an offer in the ballpark of 9.1, so we'll see what happens with that. They have to really up it. I'm looking at 10.5 for him. That might be what he's looking for. And Tampa is probably the closest team on this list to going after a Stanley Cup with Montreal, but man, maybe he does stay in Tampa. Like, that wouldn't really bother me. It's not up to me anyways, but it wouldn't bother me if he stayed in Tampa. They've got a good team there, but again, the money. They've got to re-sign Hedman, Bishop, Kucherov. But yeah, Stamkos looks at those teams and said, yeah, they're pretty decent even if they're gone, but they could be better. He might not think that that team is all that great when they go. It's complicated. I'm just getting frustrated thinking about all this stuff like that and flustered. I mean, how do you think Stamkos feels? And I haven't even got to the big boys yet. I don't know what Stamkos is going to do, but Tampa seems like a pretty good option if he wants to win a Stanley Cup. Tampa could also sign and trade him, get some assets back for him. You never know how that could work. Last but not least, I swear I'm not biased, there's no Leaf logos around here anywhere. The Toronto Maple Leafs. Is Steven Stamkos gonna come home? Who knows? The Leafs might be one of the highest bidders to bring Stamkos home. I don't know what they're gonna do. The Leafs could offer maybe 10.5 and then go, hey, we've got like $4 million in endorsements for you. I don't know if they're allowed to say that, but that'd be a pretty good pitch. That would sell me at least. Of course, I'd love Stamkos to come to the Leafs. Would I be mad if he didn't? No. Would I be happy if he did? Of course. It's up to Stamkos. The Leafs are on the rise. Please, Stamkos, please Stamkos, please come. Okay, I really shouldn't be acting like that. It really shows how biased I am. I'm so sorry. Stamkos, please come to Toronto, please. We've got a good team coming up. We've got Nylander, Marner, Matthews. We've got Kadri, Riley, Gardner. Stamkos, would you like me to get you a coffee? I could get you one. In all seriousness, this team's looking pretty good. But a lot of people are talking about this, but they aren't making this a huge focal point. I would walk into the room or I'm not sure how they're going to do it, call him or bring him in, whatever, fly there. I'm walking in the room and I'm going, Steven, there's only one thing I can tell you. His name is Mike Babcock. And right there, Stamkos will sit there and go, you're right. Sign the contract. Mike Babcock is one of the best coaches in hockey. He might be the best coach out of any of those teams that I said. Actually, he definitely is. And it's not biased. He's Mike freaking Babcock. And then you got the Snake, Lou Lamoriello, and Kyle Dubas and Mark Hunter all in there, and they're doing their thing and telling them to come. I would just sit there and go, Steven, it's time to come home. Regardless, again, I'm trying to keep the jokes to the side, but would Stamkos really come to Toronto? I don't think so, but I hope so. My gut is telling me yes, but logic is telling me no. Can he win a cup with the Leafs right now? No. In 2 or 3 years, you can't say no, because the Leafs may go into that meeting and very well tell him, you come here in a couple years, we've got some decent assets that we can either trade or acquire in free agency because we're going to have a little bit more money left. If you come here, we will build more around you quicker than what we expected. Now, the Leafs also have to move some contracts, probably Bozak and Bernier, but people are forgetting that we could use the LTIR for guys like Lupul and Robida, whatever. And a lot of money's coming off the books next year, so signing him to this deal now may not be an issue. So that's going to do it for this video. I just wanted to talk to you guys about Steven Stamkos and where he might go. Friday, hopefully he'll have his decision on July 1st. If not, it might come a couple days after. Like, I think Parise and Sutter waited a couple days. I think that he'll have a decision by July 1st because this is one of the first years, obviously, where they brought the new rule in where you could talk before July 1st, because before you could only talk on July 1st, whatever. So it's going to be fun. Hopefully everybody gets to watch. I know I will be. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. Peace.